Hello, YouTube. Hello, hello. I'm just here to bring out my Atlas guide, my Constellation guide for Torchlight Season 9 Outlaw. So, they added some new interesting nodes this league. Specifically, they added a new Constellation node that if there's no compasses in the map, you have a 25% chance to spawn 4 additional bosses. And then they added a bunch of nodes that just spawns more bosses in. So I think a lot of people are going to be doing strats around this, and I think it's a very good strat. I think it's very good to do early on. I think most people who will be playing around this will be trying to utilize the fact that you can get energy cores, elixirs of oblivion, winding keys, resonance, embers, and even snowpaper from bossing. So I'm gonna have a slightly different take on it that I think has a bit more potential in the early game for just having a lot of profit. So obviously we will be speccing into the 2 points here on the commodities, or on the Constellation. And we'll spec into our 12 points for snowpaper. I am personally a snowpaper farmer, so being able to, a canvas enjoyer, so being able to self-farm my snowpaper for the first few hours of the league is going to be very nice. But on top of that, I just think these nodes are very powerful because the snowpaper nodes are actually guaranteed to give you snowpaper. There's no percent chance that the boss drops snowpaper. It just gives it to you, which is very, very powerful and very nice. Also, I'm speccing into some beacon nodes here, these bottom 8 beacon nodes, because if we look at these nodes, they say that when you kill a boss, there's a 3% chance for them to drop a beacon, and we're doing 6 bosses a map, so a lot more chances to drop a beacon. But also, the way bigger one is Netherrealm Resonance dropped by bosses have a 0.3% chance to become beacons. And we're combining that node, we're combining this node with the commodity node, which essentially makes it that there's a 5% chance to drop 5, 10, 15, 35, 40, 45, 50, 90 resonance. So for each boss we kill, we have a 5% chance to drop 90 resonance, and then out of those 90 resonance, each one of them have a 0.3% chance to get upgraded to a beacon. I think with just those nodes, you are going to be dropping a ton of beacons and hopefully be able to self-sustain your tier 8s with a very little investment. On top of all of that, I'm also going to be speccing into winding keys. We had some leftover points. And, being able to farm winding keys is quite nice, because whenever you're done with the strat, you don't need to buy winding keys, you just use your own. And of course, we have the boss nodes. Now, the big thing that I'm going to be doing different from what I think most people will be doing is we're also running Eternal. Eternal got changed this league, and in my opinion, it got hugely buffed. But also, if you note China, the Bilibili server, the people there love City. Every single Chinese player is a fucking City farmer week 1 of the league. They just sit in City the entirety of the week. They get off City and they have 2 million FE. Because City just prints early league. Especially if you have the pets there. And because so many people, it's so competitive in China and so many people do farm it, the invitations that you get from City, early league, are worth quite a lot. The papers you get, early league, the papers actually worth a decent amount. You can actually make some profit with paper.
Meow, meow, meow.
Yeah, you can actually make some money with the paper. Both the Profound and the Tier 8 invitations are quite potent and give you a lot of money. And then the other points are just spawning in more Eternal mobs that we can kill, that can drop us reverberations, and pages of Eternal. You could definitely consider going up here for the replicate chance and the weeping candle tears. I'm not sure if it's going to be worth it, because our main strategy is farming the bosses and getting the boss drops. But as you get more points, that's an option you can go into. the other options to go into as you get more points would be either getting more beacon points or getting like the points you didn't pick up. You know, the Elixir of Oblivion, the Energy Core, all those things. The Embers. I don't think Embers are going to be super duper expensive this league. They did buff Might quite a lot. And I do expect Embers to be pretty cheap, but obviously people aren't farming Might like in the first day of the league. Because you do need a good character to farm it and start printing of it. But yeah. I think this is like going to be a very solid strategy for Time 8. I'll probably do this for a few hours once I reach Time 8. And then once I have like 2,000, 3,000 snowpaper, transition into doing canvas only because I'm a canvas lover. I love my canvas. And hopefully canvas is not too nerfed, it still feels fine and stuff. But if you are if you don't want to do these strats, I do think there's some other like very good stuff that you can do early league in like Time 8. So I think bossing is really good. The pirate boss, I'm not sure how expensive the invites are early league, but I'm pretty sure last league I was buying them for like 1 FE each. Because like a lot of people were forming Black Cell and like getting the invites from Black Cell. This boss is just like a slot machine, but the odds are like 90% in you winning. It's absolutely absurd. You can get the tier 2 invitations, which will, you can sell for to make profit on, like to at least break even, especially if you hold onto them for a day or two, so they can go appreciate in value as people start like getting enough damage to be able to do tier 2 pirate. And also, he will just drop a shit ton of hero memories, which if you get anything even slightly decent early league, you can sell it. And if it's complete and utter trash, you can scrap it and sell the scrap. And then there's also Cube 1. The Cube boss, the tier 2 invites for Cube always skyrocket. Like they go up so much in value in like a few days. Because a few days into the league, everyone starts like worrying about their slates. Everyone starts like trying to find their good fallen starlights and things. And people just start farming Cube to like farm fallen starlights. If you get in early, not only can you bulk up on tier 2 invites to resell for a lot of profit, but also if you start farming fallen starlights early, you're going to be selling them and making a lot of money early. Other bosses are also pretty good. I mentioned these two because I have some experience with them myself, but I'm pretty sure any boss early is good, because any boss that is like, it drops items that like, in a few days is going to be worthless, there's still people that want that items day 1, day 2, day 3 of the league. They're going to be paying a decent amount of FE for it before they start tanking. And those invites are super duper cheap early on and then start to go up in price. With all of that being said though, generally, outside of Keegan, all the bosses are like very easy to do early on. Like they have no damage requirement. The tier 2 ones are very difficult. You need insane amounts of damage for them. But like if you can do tier 8s, you can probably do the bosses. And then here's some tree recommendations. If you like, you just want to get some strats in. The first and biggest thing is doing God of War. This does not add drop quantity to your maps. It does not drop more loot to your maps. It, however, gives you movement speed and makes your maps go faster. God of War is just pay for efficiency, effectively. Where it's like you're giving up at least 15 points to be slightly more efficient with your mapping. And depending on your character, those 15 points are worth it. Depending on your strat, those 15 points are worth it. For example, with this bossing strat, you could completely drop Eternal, add God of War for 15 points, and then also spec into some more like boss drop quantity points, and I think that would be very good. I don't know if it's going to be better than Eternal, because I personally think Eternal is going to be very good early league, but that is something that you can consider. Black Cell, a fan favorite. Everybody always says just a Black Cell early league. The reason why everyone says it and everyone does it is because it works. Black Cell in the first few days is insane profit. You need the points to spawn the Black Cell, and I do think farming the invite is very worth it because you can sell them for a decent amount. But then at the bottom here, I only have Wonder of Wealth tagged because Whisper of Wealth tanked, because Whisper of Wonder is scrap plus hero memories. You can take all three of them really if you want to. You only really need one, and just always pick that one. And you can choose the drop count one. You can choose the scrap and memory one. It's up to you. Also, Dream. Dream does not need pets to be good. There is a Dream pet, and there is a Black Star pet. You do not need the pets for these to be good. They are just good without the pets. And for Dream, you can basically take every node in Dream. There's one node here that people are like going to be question marking and like not sure about why. It's like, why are we taking this Queen's Grace node? So let me explain that. This Queen's Grace node looks bad. You don't care about the Queen's Race invites. They're worth nothing. I don't think the boss has any good items at all. The boss takes like 2 minutes, 3 minutes to kill. Nobody wants to farm her. But the monster that it spawns in, that drops this Queen's Grace, consistently drops a lot of Dream Talkings. By adding these 4 points, you're essentially just adding a bunch of Dream Talkings to every nightmare you do, or like every time the boss spawns. And it just adds a lot of consistency to your dream, like to farming your Dream Talkings. But that's it for like early day 1, day 2 tier 8 farming strats. Another thing that I think is very important is, what is my atlas going from like the campaign to tier 17s? To Time Walk 7. I personally will be doing this. I will be speccing into Flame Sand and Embers, because you need these really badly early to craft your own gear. Because once you reach Time Walk 7, you need to craft tier 2, tier 3 gear to be able to kill the Traveler. And that uses Flame Sand and Embers. I spec into like these drop quant nodes. I spec into these 3 nodes because this is essentially just mob density in your maps. And as you're progressing through the time walks, you're trying to just get as much XP and loot along the way without slowing down too much. The more dense your maps are, the more efficiently you do that, the more XP you're getting, and the more loot you're getting. So this is just like very good to do, which is why I spec into them. And then as soon as we reach Time Walk 5, I will start speccing into God of War. Because, again, you take 15 points in God of War, it makes you faster. What are we trying to do? We are trying to reach Time Walk 7 as fast as possible, and then kill the Traveler. So God of War is just speeding that process up for us. We want God of War because we want to do each map as fast as possible, because we want to get to Time Walk 7 first, we want to kill the Traveler 7 first, and we want to get our Primos in. But then once I'm done with this, I'll finish up Time Walk 7, and then transition into this T8 boss farmer build. Fortunately, we do get like multiple pages now, and you will be forming winding keys, so you can fix both of these trees when you're ready to like swap to a different strat. But that's gonna be all from me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll have this sheet linked. In the description of the video. And please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let me know how your league starts go. I wish you all the best luck, and to have the most amazing league start possible. Bye YouTube. Bye. Bye YouTube. Bye.